Okay, so it's been a while since I've done a review on the guy that's called The Ville. He released a song a month ago called "Love You, Love Where You At," right? Love Where You At. Now let me explain to you. This guy is a he is almost like a poet and almost like a therapist, and he just speaks what he's been through, right? And every time, right, every time he helps, he is very he's good at what he does. Like lyrically, he's great at what he does. He started this thing that I kept seeing people do, where they would just rap in that car. To me, he invented that because that's the first person I saw do it. Right, so he's great at what he does. Right, and this song is no different, where he talks about it, but he samples this the Sam Smith "Stay With Me" that's playing in the back, and I do think, and it might sound a little biased, but I do think this was the best. This was done perfectly. This is like one of the best ways I've seen somebody sample a Sam Smith cover with their own lyrics. So we're gonna talk about all of that right after a word from our sponsor. But this song is, I think this is a good song. So we're gonna write this after a word from our sponsor. Okay, so it's "Love Where You At," right? Love You Where You At, right? So this is the thing about this song. As I said, it is a Sam Smith sample that he did over, and it brings up a lot of different points that probably a lot of people didn't think of, right? And it's so genuine that we're gonna talk about it. Where he talks about a family member dying, which I think is a good way to express how a person is feeling. But he explains that a family member died, and he really felt it. Um, and this other song. So as I said, okay. So I believe that music is a good way to let out emotions. It's a good way to let out emotions if you just talk about it. Now it doesn't have to be a rap, but talk about your emotions and let it out, right? So with all of that being said, he talks about his grandmother. He talks about a family member dying, and he says that it really hurt him. He also talks about in the same song in the second bar he talks about being robbed from one of his friends of 30. I think it's 30K, and I think this relates to this whole topic of are they real friends or fake friends, but it's also like who can you really depend on be genuine friends, and this comes to rappers. This goes to a lot of people. Like if you need X amount of dollars, how many friends do you have that you know you can depend on, and they won't like rob you blind of your money or rob you blind of really anything. Hopefully they're not robbing you blind of anything, but he talks about him being robbed for 30K and then um, sleeping with somebody he used to love, which well he says his ex, but I think that's another thing. Like bro code, girl code. Look, I think overall, I think it's you don't sleep with somebody's ex. Now I don't know. A lot of people don't value the ex situation differently, but he was just saying that I think either that same friend or another friend of his with his girlfriend, which I think depending on how you see the bro code, the girl code, however you see that love, you can get with somebody that your friend has dated or somebody you're close with has dated. That's completely up to you. But he talks about this, and this is I think this is interesting to me because I was aware, but a lot of people don't seem to be aware. So he said he made millions and he was signed. He made millions. Now I think he was signed to LA when he made millions, or he had a record. Yeah, he made millions. Now this is my thing. So I think this is uh, not really understood. So the rappers make, let's say they make a million from YouTube. Yeah, so a million through YouTube, got a million like views on YouTube, and if they make $1 million, they make $1 million, right? The label takes probably half of that. Managers take half of that, and then like the artist himself, if he doesn't have like a label, can keep majority of it. But if he has a label, he doesn't really keep a lot of it. So him making a million, I think, is great. But it also it also tells you where his talent is. His talent is unmatched, um, especially like a guy that I've heard um, not mainstream yet, but coming mainstream. Like I think he is like the better version of like a poet, a rapper poet that is just talking about genuine things that people genuinely relate to, right? Like it's not even about guns or anything like that. It's not even like a club mix. It's him genuinely talking about his emotions, and I think that that's a lot more of what people need. Is just especially during this time that we are in, these 2 years, this 3 years that we're going in, like situations where if somebody's in their head all the time, I would recommend this guy because the Ville is great at what he does and also the material. He covers a vast majority of material, so it doesn't necessarily relate to one race or anything, and it just overall it helps. I mean, it helps dealing with a lot of things you're going through. Like if you, I just think overall he's great at what he does. He talks about multiple topics, and they all go together. Really, in the song, you go, I didn't know he was talking about that. I didn't know he was talking about that. But overall, I do think, um, overall, I do like this a lot more. I do like this. Like this is a definitely an 8 out of 10 for me because he talks about a lot of stuff that's real that you can't necessarily get if you're looking for somebody to listen to, like mainstream rappers. They don't normally talk about these issues like this, but he's open about it. So definitely 8 out of 10. One of my favorites that I do like from him is on YouTube at. I'll leave the link to where you can find it on YouTube at, but in the description. But I think overall this is an 8 out of 10 without a doubt. Um, it's really eye opening to listen to this. So hope you enjoyed it.